Hello, hello, hello. This is going to be the last time we see this angle. I have one. Alan here. Welcome to my channel and Friday Reads. This is going to be an interesting Friday Reads. Where's my pen? I have some of the world's smallest pencils you'll ever see. I save them. You can put like extensions on them. I just save them for fun. But yeah, here on that I'll use that one. But I have a lot to get to. Got a new TV with a Fire Stick, so now I can watch YouTube on it, which means now I'm dangerous. But this it's about a third. It's only a 40-inch, so it's like a third smaller, but I'll get used to it. So I'm moving everything around. I'm going to shift direction. I'm going to do a lot of things. I cleaned up my record albums I might put my albums here and the turntable on top of here, and move this somewhere. But like all this is coming down. And I'm kind of psyched. Let's get to it. I got a lot of books to talk about. I want to talk about one, Private Eye July. I've been trying to make a video on Matthew Scudder, the character. He's Lawrence Block. Wrote a lot of novels with Matthew Scudder. Some have been made into movies, like 8 Million Ways to Die. I had never read that. It's one of the first ones, so I read that. Very interesting story. But what I really liked was this collection of short stories from throughout his career. Now, I've told the story before. I met Lawrence Block way back in the day, back in mid-'80s in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Poison Pen bookstore. I'm going to Google it and see if it's still alive. Still around. Hope so. I met a lot of writers there from all like crime fiction. Check out my playlist on crime fiction if you're into it. I'm really into crime fiction. Everyone from Sue Grafton to James Lee Burke. Just a lot of Lawrence Block. I mean, this is before internet with just your mailbox listing, and then it was like email catching up. But one of there's a lot of good stories in there with great like premises and ideas for mysteries. One, just let me tell you, there's one that reminds me of Poe's Murder in the Rue Morgue, where a woman apparently commits suicide and the cops just write off a suicide, from her window. But the thing is, the room was locked. And then, you get into her clothes were set on the chair out of order as a woman would take them off and da 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 da. Anyway, it turns out her lover, who lived 2 floors up from her, shoved her from his window. And but another one I really liked was a suicide. This guy, his wife calls the cops and says, my husband committed suicide in front of me. I don't know what's going on in front of the kids and everything. We were watching TV. Turns to me, pulls a gun, smiles, and blows his brains out. And Matthew Scudder is a drinker. He's a sober alcoholic in the later stories, but he's a drinker in 8 Million Ways to Die and some of these stories too. And his partner's a drinker, and they're also Catholic. So alcoholic Catholic cops, New York, what could be better? So they share a drink of Jameson's, J.J. and Sons, and the wife is all upset about, one, her kids are in the other room, and upset right in front of the kids he did it, and now he's going to hell. The suicide, and then they try to calm her down. Matthew's partner says, well, why don't you take her in the other room, have a glass of milk, and check on the kids and that. He does. Meanwhile, the partner's checking out clues and the situation and angles, and Matthew and the woman come back to the room, and his partner has the clip of the gun. The whole story starts out with Matthew and Elaine at a party, and somebody else committed suicide. Matthew goes, what kind of gun was it? And everybody goes, what kind of thing is that to say? I should have said that before. That's how the story starts. And anyway, so Matthew and the lady come back to the room, and his partner has a clip in a handkerchief. So I found this clip in the guy's pocket. And so my idea, I'm talking as Matthew's partner, I don't think he meant to commit suicide. He took the clip out and it was in his pocket. And the wife goes, well, what the hell happened then? Well, it was a 9mm, and there was one left. He forgot the chamber. Guns with clips, you can put one in the chamber. When a revolver has 6 rounds, you can, see one. Then you talk about Russian roulette. But anyway, the woman is, she at least feels some relief that her husband isn't going to go to hell, and that wasn't all. It was an accident, and my God, what a stupid way to die and all that. So that's how the part of the story ends. But now Matthew and his girlfriend Elaine are talking, and they go, maybe the wife killed him, took the clip out, put it in the guy's pocket, called the cops. They never follow up. I feel like I'm leaving something out of the story and it's went on too long. But very great. I was glad Private Eye July, Jim at Mr. Mayhem, a friend of mine, and everybody else, I'll list in the description box below. But I was glad to read some Matthew Scudder. So thanks, Jim. Number 2, Babel. I read with Jenny Jables. I read that on my Kindle as well. Put a link up here, or a picture up here. I had read her book Yellow, and I forget where it is. I'm gonna go. I have so many videos planned. Well, by so many I mean like 3. I have a original tag coming out. I have some book reviews coming out, and some other things. Let's get through this first read. What I'm trying to say, I read Babel with Jenny, and it was great. Loved it. Dark academia with like magic, and I'm sure most people have read it, but so that was a great experience. I'm buddy reading with Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads. We're reading Natchez Burning, Greg Isles trilogy, which includes Natchez Burning, The Bone Tree, which we finished last month. Loved it. Reread for me. Now we're finishing the last novel, Mississippi Blood. Now, I like Babel. Will I make a review of that? Maybe not. The Greg Isles series, I haven't made a review of the first 2 novels. It wasn't really planned. It was kind of off the cuff. So I always make room in my months. I try to for things that I can mood read. Number 4, Tale of the Body Thief. That's a group read with Elaine and Kat and Leslie and Stuart. Links to their channels below if you don't know them. But it's Anne Rice, The Vampire Chronicles. I met Anne Rice in Phoenix too. Not at the Poison Pen. It was just at a signing, but around the block. I forget what bookstore, but met her, and I bought the Lasher. She was touring with it, so she inscribed it with my name. Then I brought it on some other books, and she just autographed them. That's how they usually do it. So enjoying that. Tale of the Body Thief is the 4th of the Vampire Chronicles, and I remember really enjoying it. So looking forward to that. We'll do a live stream in a few weeks. 5, Eastern Eden. Hey, love this book. My third read of it. I read it in school, but he read it with my father in 2018, and now we're group reading it right after Grapes of Wrath. So it's really great to compare and contrast the two novels. This is my favorite because it's more complicated, a lot of biblical symbolism, and that character Kathy just is unreal, unforgettable villain. I just love this novel. And then we're reading The Winter of Our Discontent. Just Pat, book chat with Pat, and Patricia H, commentator extraordinaire. I'm going to mention her in one of the other prompts, one of my bullet points. Next up, let me just talk about it now. Patricia H turned me on to this collection of stories, and this writer, the Water Museum, don't have his name handy. I'm sorry, I wish I knew his last name. Luis Alberto Urrea, I believe. And this is a contemporary Latino hip street fiction in a great way. It's literary too, though, because he mentioned in the first story trout fishing in America, and it's these like Chicanos in the story going to the in the barrio, and they're going to the bodega for cigarettes, and there's another story takes place in Phoenix, Arizona, and he mentions Camelback High School. My brother taught English there. I used to climb Camelback Mountain quite a bit, at least up to the plateau, and so I highly recommend this, and I've been trying to turn on my friends to this great collection of stories. Brian Bookish told me about a nonfiction book that he wrote about like the Sonoran Desert around there, like 2666 land. I'm going to be reading The Savage Detectives before the year is out, by the way. So thanks, Patricia. Thanks a lot. Framed, Framed, by John Grisham, his latest one from last year. Buddy reading that with Reney at Beyond Books. She picked it out, gave me a choice. I'll mention again my goal this year that I'm succeeding with. Every month I'm trying to buddy read a new release, at least 5 years or newer, and letting the other party choose the book. And it's been a great success. I have a playlist on the books I've reviewed this year. Been reading a lot of Irish authors, and it's just been great. Maybe I'll do a video on that too sometime. The Dream Songs is my group. We're in our last month and still going strong. Here's my annotated copy. Here's my pristine copy. So if you want to join us, if you're a Beerman fan, there's still time. Voxer me, ALLEN 770. Let's see, that's now things coming up. I've been reading this, The Wasteland, a biography of a poem by Matthew Hollins. And I have this on Audible too. And it's in preparation for Thomas Nathan's T.S. Eliot readathon in August. So he highly recommends this book. And I've started it, but it's kind of on the back burner. What else is coming up? Faulkner in August. We're doing Go Down Moses, and there's been several announcement videos on that. A lot of people thankfully involved in that. I've made good friends. Is it too early to bring up the Cantos? Yeah, I'm reading that just with Aaron and Greg and I. We've never read it before. We have the companion, Greg, about the companion guide to Cantos. I'm getting it through Interlibrary Loan because it's dollars. I might buy it someday. I feel like I'm going to be reading this like Finnegan's Wake for the rest of my life. Really looking forward to it. Here's a video that's going to be up for like a Poetry Thursday. That's my late great mentor Norman Doobie. Look at this young guy. He passed away 2 years ago. It's an old photo of him. This is one of his second book. But I'm going to be reading a lot from this. Radio Sky is one of my favorites. And I bought and given this book away. It won the Penn Faulkner Award. The Mercy Seat. It's collected in new poems. And I have other of his books back there in my poetry section. Can't wait to organize my books like I did my albums. What else? What else? What else is going on? I think that's it. That's about it. Faulkner in August. Yep. Made that. All right. Wow. If you made it through this whole video, thank you. I wish I could reward you. Monday Night Live, Courtney at Tangible Reads. I'm trying to talk Greg into giving away a book on the live show every Monday to a commenter. Well, I spin the wheel and then I'll secretly pick out my favorite and we'll act like it was random. No. Thanks. Talk to you later.